Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. I've got a story here about Christine McKelvie. Now, she's a senior SNP MSP, and she is moaning about what her own party is doing. She voted for the budget. She agreed with the budget. She did not abstain, both nationally, the national budget, and also she is a member of the party, the ruling party, alongside her local constituency council in South Lanarkshire. And she's very unhappy because South Lanarkshire agreed to freeze the budget. The budget that she voted for. The budget she said is a good budget. The budget that froze council tax. Please freeze the council tax. You know, Humza Yousaf's bright idea. She voted for it, so she knew it was coming. And now she is sitting there in a state of delusional self-denial because she's moaning that her local council is making these cuts and closing community halls and things. You can't have it both ways, Christina. You either have the council tax freeze or you keep things open. The two are mutually exclusive. Let's take a look at this hypocrite. Now, of course, the story here isn't the council tax cuts. That's being echoed and mirrored all over the country, and it's happening, to various services that some people think important, that other people think less important, and so forth. That's not the story here. The story here is that you have a senior SNP MSP, Christina McKelvie, who is bemoaning the fact that her local council is doing exactly what she wanted them to do when she voted for the budget. How dare you obey us is basically where she's getting off. That's the message she's sending, is that she doesn't like the fact that her local authority are obeying the very thing she wanted to happen. It is... I can't think down to this level. Oh yes, budget cuts for everyone but not me. Is that what you're saying, Christina? Seriously? Anyway, Hamilton's MSP blasts South Lanarkshire Leisure and Culture over the community hall closures. Christina McKelvie has written to South Lanarkshire Council leader Joe Fagan and the SLLC chair, alongside MSPs representing every constituency affected by the proposals. Yes, how dare you as a council freeze your budget and then have to make cuts because you're not getting enough money? How dare you do that? The denial is strong, isn't it? The denial in this woman is just immense, that she cannot foresee the consequences of her actions. I struggle to comprehend sometimes what goes through the minds of these morons. Hamilton's MSP blasts South Lanarkshire Leisure and Culture Committee after proposals to close community halls and libraries across South Lanarkshire were voted through. Christina McKelvie has written to South Lanarkshire Council leader Joe Fagan and the SLLC chair, alongside MSPs representing every constituency affected by the proposals. This is to raise their concerns about the venue closures. Well, you know, you've made your choice. If you didn't want these things to close, you shouldn't have imposed council tax freezes. But you did, and so you've got to pay the consequences. It's just this fundamental dichotomy in thinking, isn't it? Yes, we want to freeze all the council. You're not allowed to put the rates up. You know, you can't put the council tax up, but you mustn't cut anything. The lunatics, aren't they? They're living in a world of fantasy, is all I can say. Either that or they are smoking the same stuff as they're smoking in Midlothian. Anyway, the potential lack of capacity to progress community asset transfers and the abrupt May the 1st date for the SLLC's withdrawal from the community facilities are giving local communities very limited time in which to organise. And she's also raised concern about the capacity of the council to support and deliver potentially 35 community asset transfer proposals in the space of a few months. Any failure to deliver this support could see communities losing vital local spaces. They just don't get it, do they? They sit there and they go, oh, the wise one has spoken. He panicked at his speech. He's created this problem of freezing council tax because the guy's, well, for the want of a better word, a complete arsehole. And so they've had to go along with it because they can't gainsay what the leader has said. It's because he is the wisest of us all. He is the one we look up to. He's the one with the brain. Anyway, Christina said, the decision will stick in the throat of communities like Fernigare, who now face the prospect of losing their community spaces due to a council that's increasingly out of touch with the people it claims to represent. You couldn't make it up. She's sitting there saying that the council is out of touch with the people. Oh, the irony. The irony. You can throw a pile of crap at it. Anyway, the Community Fire Sale Fund, announced by the Councillor Joe Fagan, is one of the most dire attempts at political spin, she says, I've seen in recent memory. I've always been a strong supporter of community ownership, but to attempt to offload more than 30 community spaces over 1 year is not remotely realistic, and South Lanarkshire Labour know this. The council staff, Vaslan and local organisations will be pushed to breaking point as a result of all this, and to save SLLC the workload of looking after their estate. She said, I'll continue to work with Fernigare residents to do everything we can to ensure the hall is not closed as part of this South Lanarkshire Council budget. A budget imposed by the SNP, for which she is a senior member and who she voted for this damn thing to happen. These people are lunatics. I can't get over how this is. Oh yeah, and it's a council that's out of touch apparently. That for me is the highlight of this piece. Anyway, quick round off. I'm not going to go into any more detail on it, but Council Leader Joe Fagan specifically pledged that White Hill Neighbourhood Centre in Hamilton will remain open and that Hollandbush Golf Course would be guaranteed for a year to allow them to consider their long-term future. And speaking before last Wednesday's vote, David Booth, South Lanarkshire's Executive Director of Community and Enterprise Resources, said the board's considerations will follow a number of decisions taken at the meeting at which the council's budget was agreed. This woman, I'm not going to go, it's nearly over anyway, but this woman is sitting there and she's bemoaning the fact that the council is obeying what her government wants it to do because it impacts on her. Well, think, love. Think of all the other people this impacts on. But you don't. You say the council is out of touch with people. I think you also. I think your entire government is out of touch with reality. Never mind the people. I'm coming up. There's a term called cognitive dissonance, and it means you're holding two diametrically opposing views at the same time in one head. And I think Christina McKelvie has definitely got cognitive dissonance. She wants the council tax frozen, but she doesn't want cuts. And the few bits of crumbs swept off off Shona Robinson's table and given to the councils is nowhere near enough. Across the whole country, there needed to be about £1 billion coming from central government to the councils to hold this. And it isn't anywhere close. And so, of course, things have to be cut. But you knew that, Christina. You knew that going in. And so this, what you're saying, is just your attempt to spin to show how caring you are, how you're fighting for the people. But you're not, because you caused it. Anyway, I shall finish there. Thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video, and I'll speak to you later. Bye.